Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to attend this event. My name is Ali Nuruddin, and I am a professor of business intelligence in the Business Intelligence Master's Program at Full Sail University. Special thanks to our guest speaker, Ridvan Aliu, for taking the time to speak with us today about one of the hottest subjects these days, blockchain and cryptocurrency. So I have known Ridvan for many years, and it is very clear from my experience with him and his short bio that he has a relentless, innovative mind that is always looking for solutions to problems. We will be talking, or this evening will be around the topics that I've shared with everybody in the invitation. Ridvan will be speaking for the first 30 minutes or so. And then we will open the floor for questions. This session is already recorded, and I will share access to everybody through YouTube, so that our external guests will also have access to it. And without further ado, I will give the control to Ridvan to start this session. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Ali, and everybody for being here. I am honored to be presenting in front of you. And let's start with sharing the screen. And I want to go through the steps that I've accumulated for this presentation. And like Dr. Ali said, I will be probably giving about 30 minutes, 35 minutes of a presentation, and then questions and answers. I am home like everybody else. By the way, my background is real, so it's not one of those fake ones in Zoom. That is a picture looking like a window, by the way. All right, so Dr. Ali, can I share the screen? It says host has disabled screen sharing. You're on mute, by the way, so. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Multiple participants can share. Okay, go ahead. Let's start.
Yep, I can see it now. I can share it now. So I'll just check real quick. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Or Dr. Ali, you can see it? Okay, perfect.
Yes, yes.
What I did is I, instead of going through slides and, making the presentation boring, I started with the slides, by the way, Dr. Ali, and then I said, you know what, let me just change it into tabs. I wanted to change the style of my presentation for today.
So being innovative, huh?
Yeah, I mean, since the blockchain, everything is changing, the industry, so let me change my presentation too.
Great.
Anyway, so I'm going to go through, this thing is actually on my way. How do we get this away? Okay. Anyways, I'm going to move this maybe a little bit down because that thing is on my way. I cannot click on the tabs, but there we go. So here are some highlights that I gathered from the outline I gave you, and then I added a little more here. Of course, we'll start with me, just so you know who is presenting and my background a little bit. I know a lot of you guys know what blockchain is, but we will cover the fundamentals so we can lay out the ground and for everybody to understand what I will say after, after I explain the blockchain and what crypto, etc. is. And then the benefits of blockchain, and again, some of you guys might already know the concepts here and the terms, but we'll go over them briefly. Blockchain versus crypto or token. There's a lot of confusion there. What is crypto? What is blockchain? What is a token? So we'll cover that. We'll also go over some ideas on blockchain that if somebody wants to kickstart a business using blockchain, then I have one of the companies here that came up with great ideas, and I'll go over some of them. And of course, we'll get into what it takes to build a software product, using blockchain. So these are the highlights. Here we go. So that's the first tab. And I just figured out, in Chrome, you can type that in like this, and it will turn this into an editor. So you can type, you see? And that is still Chrome, by the way. So here we go. Now, I'm going to go over to LinkedIn just so you can see my background. I've done quite a bit of work for Fortune 10 and Fortune 500 companies, so including the Microsoft and Amazon. I did some work for the Microsoft Link team, Windows Embedded, Amazon Instant Video Player. Here at B Square, we build the Ford navigation system for the cars Ford. I also contributed in the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine, the vending machine that you guys see probably in Burger King and a few other places. So you can go over my LinkedIn profile, I guess, to just find out what I've been doing. But the last 10 years or so, I have been in the education technology space. And you'll see my last product, it is in the blockchain and crypto. And that is called EdBit. It is in the education. It's solving a problem in the education industry. So we'll take my product as a scenario a few times, just so you can see what I have done and the experience that I've had with it. So that's my background. Now I gotta move these tabs. There's something in the front here. Here we go. So what is blockchain? Sure, a lot of you guys have heard of it. Just like the name, where it says blockchain, it is chained up. There are blocks that are chained with each other. I found this image online that gives you a very high level definition of the blockchain, and I'll just explain this. So there are blocks, okay, and a block has a header, can have a smart contract, a footer, etc. And we'll talk about why are these needed. But a block is really chained up with what we call a hash. For you guys that don't know what is a hash, it's a combination of letters and numbers. Okay. Now this is a very simple hash. It has only 5 characters, but hash is like in what do you call that? Bitcoin. So if you type in Bitcoin hash, that's about 64 characters, I believe. Bitcoin hash length. Here we go. Yeah, 64 characters. So that means the hash there is made up of 64 letters and numbers. Okay. Now, the way that are chained up from this image, you can see, and that's why it's called a chain. You take the hash, you take the previous hash of the block. So it takes the hash of this block, adds it to the next block, and it generates another hash for this block. So now inside this block is concatenated the previous hash and the new hash that gets generated. That's how they are linked in as a chain. Now these hashes is what you probably have heard about.
I'm gonna get a recording of this. It actually breaks down the professors and how like I can run a business on how to do like all this shit. It's offered to my school.
I can hear somebody.
I'm just muting him.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so all right, so back to this. This is a very high level how the blockchain works. You don't need to know the details, but just so you understand, the hashes is what miners build, generating a unique hash for billions of these blocks or trillions maybe. You need the miners to go ahead and come up with these so that you can put another block in the chain. That topic is a little bit too long. We can take it on another session maybe, or you can write me. But just so you know, at high level, a blockchain is made up of blocks that are connected with each other via hashes, okay? And I have one more slide here. You probably heard of the word decentralizing data, like why is blockchain important? Maybe I should show the benefits. So let's go to the benefits real quick. I'm gonna move this here. I got this from IBM. So benefits of blockchain before we go into what decentralizing mean. So what are the benefits of blockchain? The benefits of blockchain, they name here 5. Of course, there are more, but 5 very high level benefits from IBM. It is an enhanced security, which means nobody can penetrate a blockchain because the blockchain lives on many devices. They are called nodes. It can actually live in your mobile phone. You can download the entire blockchain in your mobile phone. That same blockchain, it is in somebody else's mobile phone or in somebody else's computer or who knows where, in a server. So that same chain, let's say Ethereum blockchain, is living on multi-billion or million other devices. And if you crack, or if you try to penetrate or break a block, you have to break it through billions of other chains that are decentralized. They're not in one database. So probably you guys have heard this term, decentralizing data, okay? Which means that this increases security. There's no way for you to, if something is saved in the block, for you to crack it or revert it back and change it. It's just, right now it's impossible. If something is saved in a database, no matter how secure is that database, let's say in Amazon or Microsoft, somebody can get in and try to change that data, get access to the database. Now, when you hear hackers going and hacking the exchanges and getting a lot of money from these exchanges, that is not hacking the blockchain. It is really hacking the applications that are using the blockchain. And then of course they get a lot of coins and so on. But that's really not penetrating or breaching the security of the blockchain. Okay. It is breaching the security of the application that is working on top of the blockchain. So one of the benefits is enhanced security. One of the most secured environment that I see nowadays is the blockchain, okay? And you'll see Google, Microsoft, Apple, everybody looking into this. How do we decentralize the data? Greater transparency. In a blockchain, everything that gets recorded, it is open for anybody to see. We call these ledgers. So I have here, now some of you guys might already know this, I have something called Etherscan, which is an Ethereum website. Ethereum, it's the coin Ethereum. So you've heard of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana, and so on and so forth. So all of them have a way for the public to look at their ledgers, which means whatever happened during the day or during the hour or during the second on that blockchain. Okay. So for example, here at etherscan.io, I can come in here and here we go. Last 57 seconds, here's a block that has been added to the Ethereum mainnet. This is the blockchain of Ethereum. You can see the transaction, how much it costs. See gas fee used. Oh, that's a lot of gas fee used. It really is. They're probably using a token in it. Let me find another one that's maybe better. Ethermine. Latest transactions. So let's go into this one. There you go. So here's one that has, no, there's not transaction. This is like actually a miner. So notice you will see the blocks here, the miners here, the transactions to the right. So let's go through one of the transactions. Sorry. So here we go. Here's a transaction that happened 32 minutes ago, and it is public. That's the block for it. This is the hash of the transaction we were talking about. Okay. And then if you come in here, you can see the value of the transaction. It's only $26. Earlier, I was looking at a transaction, 25 grand. But you can see this is $26. It's going, the transaction happened through Coinbase, one of the platforms, right? You probably heard of Coinbase. That is where you can buy and sell coins, okay? And then it went through Coinbase wallet, from this wallet to another wallet, and then here are the gas fees for it. So you can go and look at all these transactions that happens during the day, find that some of them are very interesting, like this is a USDT stable coin, but I was just looking at a transaction that happened on a game that was 25 grand somebody bought inside a game, and that is pretty cool. So in any case, so let me get back to this again. So the benefits of blockchain, how IBM puts it: greater transparency, instant traceability, just like we trace now a transaction somewhere. Now, of course, for your application, you want to keep track of all your hashes and transactions, so you can give that to your client. And here, here's what you've done today. Here's the transactions you've had. Increase efficiency and speed. Speed is no question about it. Transacting anything through the blockchain is much faster than you do in a regular cloud infrastructure. Okay. Automation. This is what we talk about, smart contracts. We'll talk about them in a second. But this is from IBM, high level. What are the benefits of blockchain? Okay. I'm gonna have to rush through this real quick. Let's go through this one. How blockchain works. So, for example, you send a request to buy Bitcoin. Okay. When you send that request from whatever application you're using, Coinbase, KuCoin, Crypto.com, whatever the application may be, you send that request, then everybody in that P2P network, which means there are so many organizations that have downloaded the blockchain, and that is called a node. When you download the blockchain and you're holding it, you are holding a node that you are keeping the main blockchain up to date. Okay. So the nodes, probably use nodes in other terms as well, but in the blockchain industry, a node is really uh, a partial download of the blockchain or the entire blockchain. Like you can download 200, I think Bitcoin is like 200 gigabyte right at this point, 168, something like that. Between 168 to 200 gigabytes that you download the entire blockchain, you can have it in your computer, the entire blockchain, okay, of Bitcoin. And then you can mine and add blocks to it, which is creating that hash and then updating that to the main blockchain. So the reason I'm telling you that is because what this means here, every computer on the P2P network knows that, known as nodes, they will be notified. Hey, this guy has sent a request. Which one is going to pick it up? Then validation happens. Each node on the network validates the transaction. Okay. Verification. Then a block is created. The block joins the chain, and the transaction is successful. So here's another block in the chain. So we're not going to go into details here. Just this is a high level, just so you understand. So if you ever build an application that deals with nodes, let's say you want to build a software product that you want to mine or do proof of stake validation with your software product, that you understand how nodes work at high level, what they are. Okay. In any case, I'm gonna that's about node. And let me go back here one more time. So next is crypto versus token versus blockchain. Pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard about crypto, a coin. Then what is a blockchain? I just explained to you what is a blockchain. Now, for a blockchain to work, you need a block to be created, which means you need tokens or a crypto to be generated in order to save that block into the chain. Okay, so Bitcoin, for example, okay, you have the Bitcoin coin, okay, which the miners will go ahead and hash, and with a proof of work, they will go ahead and create a block, and they will get a coin in return when they save that block into the chain. So just at high level, blockchain is the solution, that chain, that decentralizing data. The coin is the one that facilitates a block to be added into the chain. Okay. And the miners and whoever creates the block will get a reward as a coin, or you buy that coin and the value of the coin goes up and down depending on supply and demand. Okay. So now you will hear the word token, coin. There is some differences. A coin lives on the blockchain. A token is a part of that coin. So for example, in my case, I'm gonna go now here. In my case, I created EDBIT, right? EDBIT token. And you probably heard of so many tokens out there. What do you have? You have Polygon, you have some of the famous BAT token, C-Chain, or there's so many tokens, Shiba, Dogecoin, all of these are tokens living on one of these big blockchains. So for example, Ethereum, Bitcoin blockchain. We, EDBIT, lives on the Ethereum blockchain. So we have a token that lives in the Ethereum blockchain. Oh boy, I have only 5 minutes left. That is, I'm gonna pass it maybe more than 30
Just go
minutes.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, so we'll maybe get to 40 minutes of going over this, and then we'll open up to questions and answers. So when it comes to, let's say, the token, why do you need a token? Okay. So here's my scenario. I have EDBIT. EDBIT is a token that lives on the Ethereum mainnet, Ethereum blockchain. Okay. It's called ERC20. That's kind of one of the protocols for ERC20, okay, for tokens. And what does it solve? This is something that you need to first think through. What are your ideas that you want to solve with your token and the blockchain solution? I have opened one here that I really like. It's called Cosmos.network. And this is, if you guys do crypto, their crypto name is Atom. Okay. Atom from Cosmos. Some of you guys maybe already heard of them. So they come up with, some ideas that you can use for blockchain, like open finance. You've seen this a lot: trading, moving money around. XRP is the one that is pushing for the banks to transfer transactions. You can use on a financial industry. There's tons of applications that you use when it comes to blockchain. Here's another one for gaming. Let me minimize this. There you go. Gaming. They're saying gaming is one of the most obvious platforms for digital currency usage. I was just seeing a video yesterday on Daily Nas. This guy goes over the world and picks up different stories. And yesterday, they showed a story of in Vietnam, this organization built a game where everything inside the game, you can own it as an NFT. You own your character, you can own a piece of land. And the way that you can own is by saving these in a blockchain, and you are the owner of that block. You are the owner of that token. Okay. Of course, they're going to NFTs on this. Okay. So you probably heard of the term NFT, non-fungible token. You can own something inside a game. It's yours forever via an NFT. So blockchain can be used in gaming. Healthcare. There's so many records in healthcare that I think they should go in the blockchain. So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you can quickly go and retrieve somebody's records, and you don't have to depend on a database. You just go and get them from the blockchain. It's decentralized. You don't depend on Amazon if they go down, if their database gets fired, something happened, breached. You just don't depend on them. So healthcare, I think healthcare is another industry that can use blockchain. One thing that I also like is the real estate industry. All of the housing transactions, the MLS, this house is getting for sale, this house got bought, the history of the house, etc. These should all be in the blockchain, so it's transparent, it's secured. You don't need an intermediate guy to go and find out. These are some ideas that you guys can look and explore. Okay. So now let's get to the main point now, which is building software products using blockchain. I have put 3 different items here. One is pre-phase development, and then go to market. Now for this, I'm going to take my latest product that I built just so you can see the scenario and the steps that I took. And if you wish to take the same steps, but at high level, this is what you need to build a software product in the blockchain and using a crypto. So pre-phase, creating a white paper. You will see this even when you buy a coin. If you go to Coinbase, let's say you find Shiba or Dogecoin, if you scroll down, you'll see white paper. And this is really detailing what is the solution that you're bringing with your coin, why using the blockchain, what is the plan, what is the roadmap, how are you going to use the tokens, and so on and so forth. And it is important to start with this first, because this is where you're going to flush out all your details of your product. So for example, if you go to edbit.io, by the way, you will see a lot of the crypto and blockchain domains, they end up with .io at the end. So I got .io as well. And if I scroll down, you will have the white paper here, okay? A white paper, a lot of the white papers, they are text, not a lot of images, boring. We try to make our white paper more visual, okay? But what I want to do is I want to scroll to page number 6, because you need to come up with a solution. Why do you want to build a software product using a blockchain rather than using something else? So here's the products that we came up in the market, okay? Just so you have an idea. And you can compare whenever you come up with your idea. So Edbit credentials. And that is if a student, like a Full Sail University student or an employee, wants to save their credentials into the blockchain and have access on it forever. Like you have your diploma, you just graduated from Full Sail and you want to save that into the blockchain and have your employer verify that without even contacting Full Sail. So once Full Sail verifies your diploma, gives the green light that yes, let's go and save that for this student in the blockchain, you don't need Full Sail anymore. You can simply send the diploma or the hash of your diploma to the employer. The employer can go and verify that in the blockchain without looking at Full Sail. And they will know this is a legit copy because that's the only way it got inside. It's because Full Sail approved it. And that's one of our products. One of our products is not just for diplomas, it's also for students' records. It's also for employee certifications. So for example, here, let me give you an example. One of our clients goes through Tzatziki's Cafe, for example. Tzatziki's Cafe have, this is one of many clients that are, will be using it. They, looks like, you guys can hear me?
Yeah.
My internet has gone down. Okay. So there could be hundreds of certifications of employees getting certified on specific courses, shrimp kebab, for example, whatever courses they may be, they get certified, and then they want to save these in the blockchain. So the legal department can say, hey, is this guy certified in sexual harassment or food and safety? They can simply go and find it in the blockchain without contacting anybody. And then they don't have to spend millions or spend time transfers from one university to another. So there's a lot of benefits using it in the education space. And that is one of our products. So we came up with an idea, and here's a solution to use a blockchain rather than using a regular database, right? Next is the Edbit wallet. So the Edbit wallet is another application that enables employees and students to get paid their salary in coins. Okay. I want to get 50% of my salary from my employer in crypto. You can use the Edbit wallet to do so. Then you can use that wallet to buy your books, your tuition, gift cards, etc. So this is again in the education space, and this is one of our products. So another product, right? And then an Edbit NFT, which is, you probably heard of NFTs. I don't want to cover it in this session, but we will, we will have a marketplace for NFTs that students can buy and sell. Now, I don't want to sound here like a sales guy for Edbit, but here is a product idea. You need to come up with a white paper, okay, for your product. And this is where you're going to flush the details. There's a lot of details here that I put in there, okay? Not just me, I mean, my whole team. And this is what you want to give to the public, saying, hey, this is my idea. This is what I want to do. So now I want to initiate a coin on a specific blockchain. And we'll talk about how to pick which blockchain should you pick. Okay, so let's come back here. I say here, building the functional specs. And as you keep building the white paper, you have to, as a software developer, I don't want to go through how to build a software in general, but you need to build the functional specs of your products. How does your product work? Okay. So you should already know that, or search how do you build a functional spec for a software product. This is in general for software products, not necessary for blockchain. Okay. But in that pre-phase, you need to come up with these two. Okay. Next, now it's time to start developing your application. Hiring developers, picking the right blockchain, what is open source that you're going to give to the public, and what is closed APIs or private code that you want to keep to your application. All of this has to be thoughtful for and before you start development. So hiring a developer in the blockchain industry, one company that I really like, it's called LaborX. Okay. If you go to laborx.com, you can actually look into the different gigs that people have put, and these are all blockchain developers. Okay. So in here, you come here and look at the gigs that they're providing. This is this. It says I'll fork the EMP, BOM, Tom. You know, depending on what you're doing, you will understand what these are. See, they're talking about I'll fork Olympus, DAO, AVAX, and you can search for a specific gig that you want, blockchain and crypto. You see, fork. Anyway, so there is also a way that you can post a job and then developers will apply in LaborX. You can use other platforms as well, but this is with crypto. You pay them with crypto. You know they all accept cryptos, and yeah, and I found this very useful. So here's the one for Cosmos blockchain developer. Okay, he charges $70 an hour, and you pay them with crypto, whatever they accept, Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. So just keep in mind laborx.com. It is one of them. Now, let's see, picking up the right blockchain. This is critical. Which one should you go? Is it Ethereum? Is it Bitcoin? Is it Polygon? Or I'm sorry, Solana? Is it Avalanche? There's few of them out there. And I'll tell you this, I just had a meeting with Solana and we did a comparison between the prices it will cost us. So this is something you have to find out. So for example, for us to save those credentials for our products, to save them in the blockchain, you need to find out how much it will cost your clients to save those in the blockchain. So here's Ethereum, very expensive. You know, Ethereum gives you some what do you call that? Some features that are not in the other blockchain. They have a lot more features, but very expensive. You see, for one transaction, it will cost $14. So to save somebody's diploma, imagine in the blockchain, it'll be $14. That's ridiculous. That's a lot of money. So that is something that we don't want to do. You know, unless you go and negotiate with the miner a specific price, that is how much it will cost if you just save something on Ethereum blockchain. Okay. Avalanche, it looks like it's 30 cents, between 30 and 60 cents. Now notice Ethereum is also speed. It takes more time because there's so many transactions happening. That's 16 transactions per second. Whereas in Avalanche, we can send 4,500 transactions per second, and it's costing us way less for one transaction, which means for one credential to be saved in the blockchain. And here's Solana, the guys that I had a meeting earlier. They are way more aggressive. Look how cheap it is to save one transaction comparing to the others. Look how fast it is. It's 65,000 transactions per second. That's a block. You know, these are all blockchains, by the way. Okay. So you also, depending on your scenario, what are you going to do with your product? You need to find out what is the best price for you. Now, when it comes to price, I'm comparing here price and speed. You also want to compare it to how complex is their blockchain. You know, my developers, they don't really like Solana as much because it's more complex. Avalanche is easier. So now you have to also find out where you can find talent. Is it people that know more Solana or Avalanche, you know, or Ethereum? You know, Ethereum, you can find a lot more developers than people in Avalanche and Solana. So you get to measure all of this before you make a decision. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm almost at the end. I know I'm going through this quick, but here where it says open source versus closed APIs, every blockchain company expects you to give something as an open source for free, and then you're charging them in transaction fees. Okay. But you don't have to. For example, in our case, we have an open API called api.edbit.io. And now other applications can hook up to our API, okay, and then save their certifications into the blockchain via our APIs, okay? So for example, Full Sail's University Learning Management System or whatever they're using, they can save their credentials into the blockchain via our APIs. Google Drive, Dropbox, all of these guys can use our APIs to save data to the blockchain. So this is again something that we're giving as a free open API where people can come in and sign up for it and then use it. And then, of course, we have our applications that they also can use, such as the Edbit's credentials I mentioned. We talk about the NFTs, the Edbit wallet, and all that stuff. So again, imagine you will have to give something as an open source and so on. Now, your smart contract has to be public because everybody will see it in the blockchain. So for example, if I go to my GitHub, this is a repository. For you guys that don't know what GitHub is, you will just go ahead and search repositories. But here you will see that in here we have the EDT smart contract. Okay. And if I click here, now this is open, this is public. So everybody will see our smart contract. Okay. What do we do with that smart contract? Okay. And then you will have an auditor to audit this, make sure everything is legit before you deploy it to the blockchain. All right, I know I went way too fast and I have one last portion here. I'm on 42 minutes. So let's do this in less than 5 minutes and then we'll open it up to questions and answers. You will see something called ICO, initial coin offering. So whenever you do the first two, you create your white paper, build the functional specs, you hire developers, start picking the blockchain, then you can start your coin, you can start your token, and the token, before you deploy it in the blockchain, in the main net, before you go ahead and join an exchange like Coinbase, Crypto, Uniswap, there's many of them, you can do a pre-sale initial coin offering. And a lot of these coins, including Ethereum, they all did initial coin offering before they went public to the big exchanges. Okay. And you will see a lot of their stories being done this way. So we did this. We are actually right now in the initial coin offering. We have a pre-sale going on, and I don't want to, it's in our homepage where you can set up a price, how much you want to raise. Okay. And then people will come and read your white paper and they'll go ahead and buy your coin at a cheaper price before it goes to the market and goes to the public exchange, like Uniswap or Coinbase and so on. Now, with this, you will have to tell the public what are you going to do with these tokens and the funds that you are raising, okay? And that you have to be public on it. So if I scroll down, you will see token allocation. You'll also see what are you going to do with the fundraising, okay? So token allocation, the total supply that you will have. This is now another topic which will take time, but you can read through it right here. You have the total supply that we have, 2 billion tokens, how many we're going to sell in pre-sale, and so on and so forth. So if I scroll down here, you will see we're telling the public, hey, the funds that we raise in pre-sale, 60% goes towards liquidation, which means it liquidates the tokens that people have bought and puts that in their wallet, okay? 23% goes to business development operations, product development, legal fees. You definitely need a very nice legal firm that will go through everything you're doing and back up on what you're doing if you want to do initial coin offering. And then, of course, give them a roadmap. What are you going to do along the way? The next month, the next quarter, and so on and so forth. So this is at very high level. Dr. Ali, are you still there?
Yeah, enjoying.
Yeah, I went a little too fast because of the time, and I wanted to open up for questions and answers. I have more here, but I want to actually open it with questions and answers so we make it more interactive.
I believe that your approach is very good because it's kind of like given and kind of an on the job training type of
right. Yeah, this is what you would do to do it anyhow. You're not gonna go through slides.
Right. Walking everybody through the process of getting it done is fantastic because I'm sure it will take a lot of research for anyone to put all this together. Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah.
All right. So okay, I guess we can open the floor for questions, and now we've got about 24 people remaining and some people in and out.
Okay.
So we can do it by raising hands, or we can do it by just posting your questions on the chat. whichever whichever you feel like.
All
Okay.
right. If I miss the questions, let me know, Dr. Ali. So
All right. I'm monitoring the chat just in case anybody pops a question here.
great. Okay.
Okay. So
All right. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
all right. Well, we'll see when we give the quiz at the end. We will know who paid attention.
Can you guys hear me?
Sure.
Okay, so I believe I only have two questions. My main one is what kind of information can you store in a block? Can you store any kind of information or specific aside from the hash value?
Very good. So that's a great question. So this is when we deal with smart contracts. You probably heard of the expression smart contract. So inside a block, and not all blockchains support smart contract, just so you know. Okay, Ethereum does. It does it through its ERC20 token. Okay, so in a smart contract, you can store data in there and reference of this data to other data. It is not where you can go ahead and store a lot of images there and you know what else, you know, like a video, etc. But you store the reference and the hash of that image into the smart contract. Okay. Now there is what we call IPFs, which is again another chain that you can store the data. And I'll send an email about this, by the way. This is a little more complex. So you send an image to an IPF, okay, and then store that image there and get the hash of that image and store it in your block, okay. And it is a connection of storing videos and images into the blockchain. But usually inside a block, you can solve the transaction, what happened in the, you know, let's say somebody bought a coin from somebody else, you store that transaction data. Or in our case, for example, we're storing the student information, the university of or the institution that is issuing the credential, when is it issued, what kind of type of credential. I think we have that JSON, it's a JSON format that we're storing inside. And so on and so forth. So it's really more data. It's not really storing, what do you call it, like videos and images and things like that. It's reference to those, just so you know.
Okay, there's a question in the chat. How do you overcome customer adoption barriers for blockchain products? For example, education customers are not always the most current on technology.
That is true, yeah. Tell me about it. You know, I've been in the education space
Right.
last decade or so. I think in the education space, this is just in general, me speaking about the education technology, you have to try both the top-down and the bottom-up approach. You cannot just go with one. You cannot just go to universities and present it to them, hey, here are the benefits, take it, you know, because they really, first they get scared of change, the bureaucratic kind of process gets on the way. So going from the bottom up, it always helps as well. I mean, you want to do both. So for example, bottom up for our case will be where a student will say, hey, I want my diploma in the blockchain, and sends a request to the university. And the university gets that request, and the student says, hey, I want my diploma in the blockchain because I want my employers to verify it within seconds rather than contacting you, you having to send it to them, or I'm transferring from one university to another. It takes me 2 weeks, 10 days, months maybe to transfer my transcript. The student requests that to be in the blockchain. The university approves it, they're done with it. So to answer your question, Greg, it has to go both ways, you know, bottom up, top down approach with the education space, you know. And the reason we have the other products, just to add to this question, to the answer, you know, we have the Edbit wallet, and then we have the Edbit NFTs. We don't really need the schools for Edbit NFTs and Edbit wallet. You know, the students are going to drive that. The students are going to create NFTs in the community, in their school. They're going to create NFTs for their games. So it's driven by the bottom, which is the students. And also Edbit wallet, the students are going to go ahead and receive, get rewards in Edbit Wallet. They're going to go ahead and buy a book with Edbit Wallet. So we don't really need a university for it. So I hope that answers the question.
I think Christopher had the same question. Is that enough or you need more?
Yeah, that was actually my question. So yeah, it's
Okay.
it's not
All
it's a
right.
challenge. Yes, absolutely.
Any other question? Oh. Okay. As a continuation to the question, aren't people scared of blockchain? What can you say to individuals to gain acceptance?
Well, I think people might get scared of blockchain just because they don't know what it is. The companies, the big companies nowadays, they are pushing it through because of security level. It's way more secure than what we see right now. So you actually should not be scared. You should be more comfortable saving something to the blockchain rather than a database wherever that cloud may be. Okay. You will, let me give you this. Okay. There's a organization that I think you guys should follow on LinkedIn. It's called Blockworks. Okay. Amazing organization with some amazing data. Okay. Take a look at it. Blockworks. And if I go through their posts real quick, I want to, I believe, say even United States Department, this is 7 hours ago, United States Department of Treasury, I believe stablecoin is in the blockchain. It is a coin in the blockchain. You will see USDT. When you see something T, that is a stable coin. Okay, it's equivalent to USD, but in the blockchain. And she's saying, I believe stablecoins can promote financial inclusion by reducing the cost of payments and faster execution. We're talking about money being transferred in the most secured way, fastest way. The US Department of Treasury is saying it. I mean, take a look at these guys. I want to actually see, they posted something about Google. The CEO of Google is looking to decentralize the data in blockchain. They can see the security. So Greg, it's other way around. They should feel more comfortable using a blockchain rather than using a regular database. So.
Okay, 2 questions. First one is, what are the risks involved?
The risks. Okay, so now there are a few. The blockchain one, just for the fact that it is not controlled by a single entity, it is decentralized. It has the benefits and it has the cons or the risks. When something is decentralized, I can have money in my wallet that nobody knows. I can pass that money from my wallet to another wallet that nobody else knows. So that means people can misuse it. Okay, that's the risks that I see. I mean, there's different analysts that come up with different risks, but the risks that I see is really, I can have 1,000 Bitcoins and I can go ahead and buy whatever I want without asking anybody. Whereas right now, if I have $1 million in the bank and I want to buy something that is not allowed, I will get blocked, or I wake up in the morning, my money is all frozen. That is kind of the risks that I see, but there are, again, others. But at high level, the regulation is coming into play. But again, let's not get confused. The blockchain solution, I don't see risks, to be honest. The blockchain solution is the new internet. Is going to boom. The crypto, the coin side of it, they needs regulation on it. Okay. But I want my data to be saved in a blockchain rather than depending on this hospital's database, or Amazon database, data center, whatever that is, And Amazon and Google and all these guys are looking themselves to decentralize the data. So blockchain is an amazing technology. It is taking over. It's going to fly. The crypto side of it, the coin side of it, that is something that needs to be regulated, and there are risks on it, just like I explained one of them. So, okay.
What are your thoughts about privacy as well as security, such as blockchain technologies like R and Monero?
Okay, so remember, blockchain is saving the blocks in the chain. Then there's tons of applications, just like us, Edbit. We build applications on top of it. Now, our applications can be hacked, can be breached, but it's our applications, not really the blockchain. So for example, I'll give you an example. We have the Edbit credentials UI application, which means that you have to come out and sign up as an institution, or you download an application in the mobile phone. You create your user profile, use whatever you add in there. That is a security that we have to handle, that process. That can be breached, Eventually, all of this also will be saved in the blockchain. So when a login, a sign up, user profile. Right now, all these applications are still living in database. So whenever you see people breaching a blockchain application, they did not really crack the blockchain. There's no way. But they breached the blockchain application, and they stole data, and they stole coins, and they transferred coins to their wallet. So that is what's happening out there when it comes to security and privacy. Okay.
Okay, question from Maxine. Maxine, can you just speak up your, explain your question more? I think it needs a little bit more explanation.
Yeah, so as looking at it just from like a data analysis standpoint, we have a bunch of records, let's say real estate transactions across the nation, or just property deeds across the nation. How would we go about building tokens in that instance and being able to pull all those records and reference them on as you know as a visualization, or as a database, as a traditional database model? Would this be somehow be able to read and read all these different transactions and be able to compile them within a single database and look at them all those records together? Or is this just billions of different tokens that are being
Okay.
consumed?
So the way I understood it, Maxon, is how do you keep track of the transactions? There are so many of them for your specific application, and just pull up the transactions. For example, if, let's say in our case, a university has given 1,000 diplomas, they just want to pull those from the ledger in the blockchain rather than having billions of there, trying to find out. Is that the question? Or no?
Yeah,
It was cut. The sound is not coming as clear, by the way.
no, that's good.
Yeah. So remember, when you go, just like I showed you, the Etherscan, there are billions of transactions there, right? It's not just for one token. There could be Shiba here, Dogecoin, so many tokens, thousands and thousands of tokens that have transacted here. Okay. So where it says tokens, see ERC top 20. If I click on it, look, the stablecoin USDT is the first one. Binance is here. Hex, Shiba, Crypto.com. These are all the tokens built on the Ethereum, the ERC20, Ethereum mainnet, you see. So each of them have maybe thousands or millions of transactions. Your application is supposed to keep track of this. So the application you build for them keeps tracks of these tokens. So in our case, we give the university the ability to download their hashes, or the URL to the ledger. Now, if they have the entire blockchain, they have it in there, okay? But they download all these hashes that they can simply click and find it in the blockchain. What is that transaction about? Now, when they download, that means they have to save it somewhere local. It's completely offline. They don't have to depend on us anymore, okay? That's how we made it. We make it decentralized. So we have it in our database first, all the hashes of the transactions. They go and download. Now, those hashes map to the blockchain, so they can go and see that this student has got the diploma in the blockchain. They don't even need us, okay? But of course, we don't, once they download, it's up to them. If they lose it, they have to come back to our database and retrieve it. And if we're not there anymore, they pretty much lost it. So just like losing money, if you have money in your wallet and you lose, you will hear this a lot, oh my God, I lost my Bitcoin wallet. Just today, I saw the news that the US government retrieved $3.8 billion of Bitcoin wallet lost. Oh, are you guys there? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Just because somebody lost a Bitcoin wallet because they had it offline, they had it on USB drive, or I don't know how they had it. But you can lose that. So similar to us, you download the hash for the transactions that you have in like a diploma of somebody. You have it in your computer. You can make multiple copies. But if you lose it, then you lost it. You have to come back to us.
At least there is a way to come back.
Right. Yeah. But now imagine. So that's what we want to get away from. We
Right.
don't want to have things in our database, right? Because that's the goal, not have it centralized. We don't want to have it in the database, but it will make it decentralized. If you download it, you keep it somewhere. Now it's up to you. You don't need us. You just go straight to the hash and you can find the diploma. Yeah. All right. Great questions, by the way. This is awesome.
It's 7 o'clock, so
yeah.
So we can either cap it, or if you want a few more minutes for some more questions, or
I can maybe go a few more minutes. Let's see, maybe 1 or 2 questions the most, and then we can wrap it up, and you guys can email me.
It is definitely a wide subject, and there's so many questions can come up, and it's very good.
Just don't ask me which coin to buy, because I don't know.
All right. Any questions, guys, before we wrap it up? Right. Looks like we're good.
Sounds good. I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
So,
well,
thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ridvan, for this enjoyable session and an educational session. And thank you all for attending. And as I said, the session is recorded, so I'll provide the link to everybody once we are done with it, with the video. All right. Thank you all, and have a great evening.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Ali, for setting this.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.